How are you all? Oh my god, spring has sprung finally in the UK. We've had two absolutely cracking weeks of weather here. It's not been particularly warm, hot or anything like that. Well, it has in the last few days. It is Sunday the 13th of April and a couple of days ago it was reaching 20 degrees. So it's been absolutely lovely. So what can I say? Well, as you can see, I mentioned earlier in some other videos I'm going to try Nutramare this year. The reason being is this, but I've got lots to update in this video and cram it into a 20-minute one. So, whoa, it's going absolutely great. I had an absolutely mega holiday in Lanzarote 2 weeks ago. I've come back. I've been working in the day, then I've been really getting into my gym. I've been going to the gym a couple of years now, for 4 days a week. Or 4 evenings a week, finish work, get to the gym, come back, have my dinner, do a bit of pottering, bed, eat, sleep, repeat. You know what it's like. But we are now getting some longer days. Well, they're not longer days, are they? They're just days are extended because of the daylight, and it's absolutely marvellous, as you well know. So what have I been doing? Well, a week ago the Nutramare 360 Pro Sink 4.5mm pellet arrived. I went for the sinking pellet. Now it's great timing for me because, and I'll flip you around, because, oops, what is going off here? Sorry about that. Because this is what I've got left of the Sake White. So what I had left in there of the Sake White, I have mixed with the Nutramare 360 Pro sinking. As you can see the dark and the light pellets. So they've been on it since it came Monday. It's now Sunday. So they've been on it for 5-6 days, or 5 days. And I've got to say, as a first impression, I'm really impressed, because what I was expecting, was anticipating, was some noticeable waste deposits in the pond. And there's not. There is some, but it's not from this. Now, I did mention in my last videos, it's probably been 3 weeks now, hasn't it, since I did one. This is, it kind of falls to this point, the bottom of my pond does. Now, in there's a sack of carbon, and that was gushing through. The pipe was flowing onto it where I initially put it in, and I lost a lot of it. Just disintegrated. So if you look here, you may well be able to see deposits of like grit. Sorry, you can't, can you? Now this is an underwater camera, but I don't want to risk it. So anyway, at the bottom of the pond there, can you see it? The black dark. See it all? There. It accumulates here. And as you can see, there's not an awful amount, there's no new waste. So, the bottom of this pond today, because I've got a return outlet down there, the bubbles come across and do that. There's a return there that comes from the air source heat pump, and then there's a return there that comes through. And then it's got a tangible return where you can move the ball, and it points down there, so it all comes to here. But we're under the feeder, just there, it's just absolutely, there's nothing noticeable, and I was expecting a noticeable change. So this is the Nutramare 360 Pro Sinking Food 4.5mm pellet that I've gone for. Now, looking at the ingredients straight away, by looking at the ingredients, and I'm no scientist or specialist in food, but I can tell by looking at the what's in the food that it's top quality, that it's up there. There's no doubt about that. You can just tell by the ingredients. Now, if you look at other products, you'll see a lot of fillers in there. Now, the only thing that did put me off, that puts me off a little bit, is the wheat germ 10%, because I'm not a believer in wheat germ. But they've obviously got that in there, I would imagine. They've got 38% fish meal, there's salmon oil, and there's wheat germ 10%, then shrimp meal 5%. So yeah, I don't know whether that's there to increase, I don't know, fat, fibre, or whatever it is it's doing. It's probably so they can call it that all-season food. I don't know, as opposed to being more inclined to growth. But there's no switching or flip-flop or anything like this. That does everything. So anyway, I'm giving it a go because, like I say, I've got no balance left. I've got no growth left from last year. The only balance I've got left is that. But oh, I do love sake akari. It just smells mega. I could eat it. It's like, I don't know what it is, guys, but if you've ever used it, there's a bit of a smell to it which is really nice. No pungent, oily smell. It's like a little bit chocolatey to me. And yeah, so I'm not expecting it to be as good as sake akari, but for roughly £8.50 a kilo, so that 15 kilo sack were delivered, I think it was £130. Yeah, I'm going to give it a go, and if that can get similar growth results, and I think you've got to be looking, to be comparable, you've got to be looking at 1 centimetre a month, a week, when they're growing well. So the likes of these smaller fish, you know, you should be expecting 1 centimetre with the body and everything like that and the shape per week. So, you know, what I really need to do, and I'm probably going to do it next week, bank holiday, is get some of the fish out, measure them, do some scrapes, do health checks, put them back in. Some koi are coming out. I was due to get some koi from Ricky. I've got 6 fish incoming, but he rung me yesterday and not quite ready, a couple of them. So gives me some more time though, so that's great for me really, because I weren't in no rush. Now these fish are looking, I'm mega at the minute, absolutely mega. So moving on from the food, I'm giving it a go because I've got really nothing to lose. Well, I have really. I've got a season to lose, haven't I? I've got a season to lose, but I know, because I can tell, you just know by the ingredients whether the food's really low grade or a higher grade. Now this is definitely a higher grade food, and like I say, I'm trying not to compare it to sake akari because it's not on the same price range, so you can't, it's not fair. So, but for the cost, and the biggest thing for me is decent growth, good body, good health, and waste. I don't want to be seeing pockets of waste everywhere, because this stuff, the sake, oh what was it last year, sake friend, if you look, you can't really tell in this one at the minute, but in comparison you can see waste at the bottom. There's a noticeable difference. And see one of my videos, sake friend versus sake akari, check back on my videos and you'll see it 1v1 and what the outcome is from putting it in to the increased waste, and you see it quite quickly within days. Now this one, I haven't seen it since they were fed Tuesday night, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days. I've not noticed any increased waste. Now I say that in the pond. Now what I am getting in here, I'm giving this a mega clean. I'm getting little bloody gnats, and now there might be larvae from mosquitoes, I don't know, but you seem to get them in the easy pod. So what I've done, I've got some concentrated PP. I've literally poured it in, absolute loads of it, and it's turned brown. Oh, it's just gone exhausted within about 10 minutes. But as you can see, it's absolutely nailed anything in there. There's my brushes. Oh, I can see some larvae, look, see the larvae swimming, looks like mosquito larvae. So that is going to get drained. Now the biggest proportion of waste in there, what I'm getting is green algae, look, see those algae strands? I don't know if you can see that. I'm getting algae strands. Oh, lots of green algae strands. So what I've done as well about a month ago, the valve, the slide valve on here, like that, started bloody leaking too much at the top, and it was like drip 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 drip, and actually almost like a trickle fill. So what I've done is I've put a connector on, disconnected the connector. It's just a screw in, inch and a half screw in. So I've unscrewed the slide valve and the connector that comes with it, found a connector, got in my bag of bits and bobs, as you do, you save them, don't you? Well, I do. Whack that on and just put that valve in there, and then I've got my valve there. So lost that waffle. Let's drain that down, because I've got to dump that now. I've back flushed the pipe from the moving bed, and wow, moving bed, woo-hoo. Honestly, this has been going mega. How do I know? I can smell it. Smells great. And look at it, look how it's tumbling. That's the amount of water I've drained out of there, look. And backwashed. So you can see all the, can you see the strands that are sticking to the side of the pod? So this is going to get drained, hose down. We'll see at the bottom of it once it's drained how much is there in terms of waste, because there will be more waste, because I'm on 4 feeds a day now. 6 in the morning, 9, I think 12, and then 9 at night, something like that. And then if I come in, I'll hand feed them. So on that note, in fact, no, let's have a look. This Saki Balance, like a light browny colour. And then here's the 4.5mm pellet. So let's see how it goes with this. At the minute, they're absolutely ferocious. Water temperature's getting up to 20-21 in the day. I've not got my air source heat pump kicking in yet. It's set to 17 degrees minimum at the moment, because I noticed that it couldn't keep up, because there's still some cold nights, especially a week or so ago. But what I like about the sinking is it sinks at quite a nice pace, so it gives them all a good opportunity to grab some food. Especially, see that Shiro, the NND DK line. I noticed that one on floating food, it struggles to be so ferocious on it and get it. Whereas now it's sinking, it just sort of, see them pottering, look, I call it pottering. They're all pottering, just feeding, sucking up naturally, because the bottom feeders, you can tell the bottom feeders because the way they feed, they're doing it naturally. Now my only concern was that food would go straight into the bottom drain, because when I first had this pond, that's what was happening. It was going spinning and going straight in, because the bottom of the pond was so smooth. Well, now there's obviously bits of algae and stuff, so it captures it a bit more, so it can't do that. So as you can see, they're feeding away. See if you can move, because they'll probably move some stuff around there. Can you see the bottom? So that's going to get hoovered out, which will really spook them. So let's give them some a bit of balance as well. They'll be straight on the balance. They just can't get enough at the minute. So I've increased the feed to 4 times a day. Everything's going marvellous. Look at the colour of these fish. Now what I'm hoping as well, and it will be a noticeable difference if it happens, the colour of the water. Can you see the vibrancy in my water at the moment? What you normally find is with food, once you start getting the food going in, it's like, I don't know if you want to call it tannins or staining, it kind of comes out of the feed and it goes into the water, and then you get to a sort of saturation point, if I want to call it that your water's kind of saturated, exhausted, because you've got that, you put that much into it, you're getting a bit like a bad combination. But that happened to me last year in July. So this year, hopefully, I won't get that, because of the moving bed, not because of the new food, because of the new moving bed. So far 5 days in, I'm really optimistic with that food. So if you know you're someone that you're putting a lot of food in and you can't afford it or justify buying Sakya, because it is expensive food. You're talking £180 for a sack of Grove, so the equivalent 130. You're talking extra 50 quid a sack. Now if you're putting, I don't know, 2 of them in a year, that's £100 difference. So if you're getting similar results, or you know, not noticeable negative results, then why not? But we'll see. So far so good. I'll know in a couple of months, because I'll get a few out and measure them. You know, I'm going to measure them, like I say, next week, and then a few months down the line you measure them again. So I'm going to take an average as well, so I've got an average of weight as well. But some of these are coming out, so the ones that are coming out to make space when I get these new ones is the Snow Asagi. It's such an odd choice, isn't it? I'm thinking of the Koda Tancho Goshki, good in the main pond. That's 2, and then I think that's it. I might put the Kujaku in the main pond as well, 3. I don't know. And then there's a couple out of there going in. So that's that. But yeah, moving bed. Right, how do I know the moving bed's working and everything? Well, tested the ammonia and nitrite yesterday, and I've always, regardless of the filters or whatever, and especially last year when I didn't have that moving bed or quite as much in it, media, I was getting ammonia and nitrite on my Anna. So I've got my Anna checker, my yellow egg, it was 0. Done this week and last week, 0, 0, 0, not a sniff on it. Nitrite 0, nothing, not a hint of pink at all. Absolutely lovely crystal blue, that lovely blue there. So far that's absolutely brilliant for me. I've got my bucket of bicarb, that's going to get washed today. I've got a bit of dissipation there, look. So I've got that's nearly done, so that's going to get washed out in the pond, and then some more put in. I'm going to start off and have a dabble with making my own PSB again this year, my bacteria. Yeah, that is about it. That's about it. The lot. I'm not going to. My main pond, I've still got the balls on, but my chagor was thrashing about a couple of days ago, so it hit itself on a bit of plastic again. So I've took that part out, so it's only just the balls on. But because I had a big piece of plastic over the top, all the balls have dispersed, so there is 3 areas now of water. But I'm not going to show that this week. That'll be on next week. Pond hoover's in here because I'm going to hoover this out, get this prepped. That's going to get hosed down and cleaned and hoovered out at the bottom. There you go. There's the bottom of that. A lot of that is algae, and as well there's no smell, no horrible putrid smell, because some foods, especially if they're using low quality proteins, poultry meal, stuff like that, you'll find it'll stink, or honestly. But look at all that green stuff on the sides of the steel there, look, all green algae, and that's because I've got the UV on. You'll find if the UV is not on, your water clarity won't be as good, but your filter won't collect as much. I notice a big difference if my UV's off. So sometimes I turn it off if I go on holiday, just so it don't block up or anything. So everything is going great. What else is there? Oh, there's one more thing. The cactoile. Look at I noticed the, you can't see it. I noticed the pH weren't right. It was reading too low. So I've tried to reset it, tried to calibrate it, and I just cannot do either. The reset don't make any difference. 6.5 I'm got reading there now. So that's buggered, or that's buggered again. So, and it's not, and that is, so cactoile, I bought this one via eBay, Amazon, so I've probably got a good chance if I go onto my account tell Amazon that it's gone faulty and take a picture and show it, I'll get a refund. Cactoily, when mine went same thing as this last time, or very similar, they blamed it on me having that probe too deep, which I thought was a load of crap, to be honest with you. So that's what's put me off ordering another one with them, because I thought they'd send me a replacement probe, but they've changed the probe now, and that is how deep that's been, and it's gone faulty again. So would I recommend a Cactoily? No, just don't bother. It's the pH is always going to fail you at some point, there's no doubt about it. So if you're not bothered about pH and you just want temperature, salt reading and MV, maybe, but that's all that's useful for now. But now I can't monitor my pH, so if I want to monitor pH I've got to look at something else. I've seen a Pond Guardian Blue Lab. Now the Blue Lab stuff's mint, because I've got this truncheon that I've had this years, and all you do is replace the batteries. Never failed me, never cleaned, never failed. But that doesn't measure pH. But pH pens, pH monitoring is the equipment is very, very delicate. So I might just go back to a test kit like that. But I've seen someone selling one, the Blue Lab Guardian, for £120 second hand, because they are expensive. So I've got a few bees in here at the minute, so I won't recommend the Cactoily. I'll probably stay away with it if I were you. I've been doing some beekeeping, so because of the warmer weather I noticed they were bearding. Bearding is when they come out and there's just hundreds or thousands of bees like a beard on the front, cooling down. So what I've done is I've put another box on with frames on so they can start working that. Now it's plastic frames and they struggled last time, they've just not really done a lot with it, but I'm hoping it's going to be more airflow and they can regulate the temperature better in there, because there was all bearding, but they tend to do that anyway. So that dead out at the top has been cleared out now, so if I get a split I can put a new colony of bees in there. So they've all been inspected, they're all looking good. Weather's going a bit cloudy. The next week is forecast a bit cloudy like this all week by the looks of it, but things are looking absolutely grand. So next weekend, bank holiday, is going to get some spring cleaning, pond's going to get hoovered, pond balls are coming off, the shade cloth's going on, the plant filter's going to get hoovered out, because that's just been sat with water in it, so that's going to get hoovered out, and then then it's all going to get filled up and it's all going to start working again, get it filled back up. So if I could capture the smell in this greenhouse, the temperature is over 25, it's about 26 degrees isn't it at the moment. If I could capture the fragrance when you walk in here, oh my god, smell of citrus is mega. Orchid coming out there, Cymbidium, almost really dark chocolate, got another one in flower there. But yeah, the smell of this, if I could capture that and sell it, oh my god, they're mega. I love the smell of citrus, absolutely awesome when you're smelling it. It reminds me of the Mediterranean for some reason, but I love the smell. Yeah, so the mistake I made, I've inspected my bees, I didn't put the bloody shade cloth down, so some bees are coming. My honeybees, there's about 6 in here. Anyway. Right, so what you got to watch for this time of year, guys, final, give you a tip. There's always a moral of the story, there's always a tip. Watch your koi, watch the behaviour, do spring maintenance and do spring health checks. Get some koi out, scrape them. Some people don't. I mean, I'm in two minds with these because they look so bloody happy. But I'm going to get them out and measure them because I'm changing feed, so I may as well scrape a couple, get my microscope set up down there, take about 4 or 5 fish, take the ones out, get them acclimatised next bank holiday weekends down the other pond, do some scrapes, job done. The there's 2 koi in here that are coming out, that one's coming out, that one's coming out because they're fully recovered now. That one's still got a bit of a sore on it, so that one's staying in there. Or I might just treat it and then leave it in there for a bit longer. Now I have noticed that Sankey there looks a little bit sulky. Can you see these two are just going round? I've noticed it just in the last hour since I've been here. Yeah, it's moved now, look. So I don't know whether it's because of my movement in here, because there's a lot of activity today. Look, it looks normal now, look. That looks normal. But it just, yeah, it just looks like sort of just there, not moving. So if that's prolonged, then you need to worry about that. If you're getting koi, oops, I'm just getting some food out, guys. If you're getting koi that look a bit listless, lethargic, like that now, it's not doing anything for long periods, that's a warning sign. Put some food in, see if... So yeah, so I'm going to check the ammonium nitrite on this one today, because I did that one yesterday. I'm going to check this one today. The KH is okay. The KH in that one, by the way, is around about 6. So my trickle, manual just trickling through that valve, that bucket of KH solution, carbonate solution, is working a treat at the minute. I've not manually put anything in, so I've not had no yo-yoing like that, ups and downs with it. See, it's on the move again now, look. So yeah, that one's going to get scraped. That's going to get hoovered. So I'm not going to show you all that stuff because it'd be pretty boring, but that is an absolute mega update. And look, talking of chocolate, look at these pitcher plants, look at the flowers on this. Unbelievable. In nature, amazing. Them seeds dropped out. Them seeds just dropped out, look. This is growing again. Going great guns. This will be in flower soon. Jasminoides. Yeah, what an absolute mega time of year. On that note, see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. I hope your ponds are okay. Be vigilant, keep your eyes on them. If you don't know how to do scrapes, learn how to do it, because that's the key to pond keeping. You need to know what you're treating them parasites for. And on that waffle, hope you're doing fabulous. Drop some comments down below, drop me a like if you'd like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.